Daily Calm, Piano Without Tears, and Elisabeth Swim present brain-friendly music for curriculum, learning, and behavioral support. Today we're going to talk about variety, and funnily enough, we will have some variety in our recording because I do not have my usual microphone with me today. You are going to hear the clicking of the slides as they change, so I just wanted to warn you about that, and thank you for your patience. So we will get to talking about variety in your music classroom after we review a few other things. So I wanted to go over very good, yay! Which I know you've seen me do. Now you have the official instructions in very good, yay! You're going to clap your hands 4 times for the very good, and then stretch your arms out to the sides or up in the air for yay. I learned this from laughter yoga, which is actually where I got my start as a yoga teacher, believe it or not. Anyway, this wakes up the mind-body system, wakes up and centers the body, and increases momentary breath capacity. So it's a great addition in your classroom. It creates variety as well. Sometimes if my students have done something or they've shown focus or attention or a quality that I want to celebrate, or if we've just had fun doing something, then I'll insert very good, yay, and it gets their focus shifted back to me, which is really great. So I hope you find that helpful too, and let's keep going. Here's a little more variety for you. Some funny tomatoes. Variety in music is what we're going to talk about today, and how it supports brain development, and also how to apply variety in sound to the top played music in your classroom. Your own speech. Last week we looked at the importance of routine to meet student needs for structure, predictability, and comfort. You can create a sense of routine in your classroom by using transition songs, which we did a lot of last week, modeling them yourself with whole body focus at appropriate times. You can also create structure by repeating preferred songs and activities even more often than you might anticipate would be fun as an adult. Also, use rhythm to create a sense of community regulation, and you can read more about that in the chapter on page 19 of Piano Without Tears, which you've probably already done. Use speech mirroring to support children in learning sounds and self-expression. This creates a routine in your interactions, so that's repeating back what a child has said, correcting grammar or pronunciation only in the version that you say back without correcting their speech. Active listening can also create a soothing routine response to thunderstorms and other interruptions. You can see Piano Without Tears on page 51 for more on active listening, which I know you've already read. Optimal attention. We talked last week about how the ideal windows of attention for an adult or a child have a convenient formula. The developmental age and years plus 2 is the number of minutes that a person can pay attention effectively when they've been fed, watered, and well rested. So a child who's 3 has an ideal attention span of 5 minutes, and if after 5 minutes your little ones seem restless, there is no need to take it personally. Sometimes even 5 minutes is a really long time. Grown-up attention spans max out at 20 minutes, and after that we usually need some kind of gear shift or a stretch break to keep absorbing info. The good thing about being a grown-up is there's lots of ways we can shift our attention without other people knowing, which is how we survive hours of lectures at a time. Very good, yay! I'm not clapping here because I don't know how the claps are going to sound in the microphone, but feel free to clap as you say very good, yay with me. Very good, yay! So variety meets children's needs for novelty, newness, surprise, challenge. It also supports them in being creative. It gets the brain thinking in different ways. Recipe for variety is to do something new with a familiar tool. So our friend here is using kitchen equipment as percussion instruments, something that I'm sure everybody watching this has either thought of or done or seen kids do. One great way to create variety is to change the rhythm of a familiar song. Feel free to ask for support with this during our one-on-one session, but I'll just give you a quick example here with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high. So I've basically changed the rhythm from being 8 beats per phrase to 7 beats per phrase. So I'd be interested to know how that feels for you to hear that. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So another way to create variety is to sing one song to the tune of another, and notice how your students react. Ask them what they noticed, and if they seem confused, ask, "Was that silly?" They'll probably giggle and say yes until you lead the discussion to discover your trick. So you could sing "Row, row, row your boat" to the tune of ABCD, anything like that. And I want to hear your ideas on that when we talk on Thursday. For kids age 2 and 3, chant, "If you can hear me, find your elbows," and put your hands on the body part that you just named, so on your elbows. And you can do it with any body part. This works well if you put your entire focus on your own experience and allow them to mirror you in their own time. For 4s and 5s, chant, "If you can hear me, find your head," but put your hands on another body part like your elbows. See who notices that you said and did a different thing, and watch who responds to what you say and who responds to what you do. If kids have a hard time with this at first, go back to the other level. Put your hands on the same body part that you say, and then once they get really used to that, mix it up and say a different body part than the one that you're touching. And this is a great way to get kids' attention and get them to follow auditory instructions. So again, this works really well when you model full body communication throughout the day, when you're saying and using your face to express and doing the same thing. I know as grown-ups it can be tricky to retrain ourselves to do that since we're so used to multitasking. Here is a picture collage for you so you get some variety. See children learning in different ways. Nice little play opportunity from a playground. If you like, feel free to give yourself a very good, yay, before we keep going. Another way to create variety in your classroom is borrowed from relationship development intervention, and this has to do with your speech. I use it in music class and in all the work that I do with children. Spotlighting basically uses new and unexpected sounds to get a child's attention. 2 great ways to practice spotlighting are to begin a word or a student's name with a stutter. So if I wanted to get somebody named Sarah, if I wanted to get her attention, I might say, Sarah, really stuttering deliberately to create a noticeable sound. And then the student would pay attention because they're not used to me stuttering. I don't usually stutter, right? So they'd have more motivation to pay attention, even if they were already involved in something else. Another thing you can do is to make an unusual noise on purpose. So like a whoop or a or a ha 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 or any kind of silly noise just to get a child's attention. So I invite you to play with that. The only qualification for the noise is that it's not a word, that it doesn't have any verbal meaning that you know about in a language that a child understands. So give this a try and let me know how it works. If you have a challenge trying it out for the first time with your students, we can role play this in our next meeting. Another thing you can do from relationship development intervention is to play I Lost My Voice, which is when you just pretend that you can't talk anymore. This is great when you can get other adults that work with you on board first and then bring it in, implement it spontaneously when it's needed. So the way that you do this is just stop talking, and you can stop talking ceremoniously if you like. You could even zip your lips or whatever you want, whatever is significant to you, a significant way to communicate that you've lost your voice. Use only facial expressions and gestures to communicate with your students. It takes time, but with your intense focus on your own body and your own experience and on the interactions that you're having with your students, children will catch on and be intrigued. And then you can bring your voice back, however ceremoniously you would like, when everyone is ready for your instructions. Other ways to create variety in your music sessions and in your class are using different levels of body position, so standing, seated, crawling, spending time on the tummy. Today in music class, in music and movement and at Enrichment Friday, a lot of my students spent time on their tummies, either passing balls to each other or even playing the xylophone when they were on their tummy. This has wonderful effects on the brain. It can help the vestibular system, help the brain get ready to sit still for longer. It also helps with side-to-side eye tracking, hand-eye coordination, a whole bunch of other things. Another way you can use variety is to use developmental movements with songs whenever possible. And you know how much kids love these: crawling, creeping on the belly, even rolling around on the back, letting the arms and legs wiggle in the air. So many fun things you can do with developmental movements. Once students have learned the finger play or movements to a particular song, you can do something off on purpose. Do something that is not necessarily part of the sequence of the finger play, or even say a wrong word, and allow the students to correct you as though you've forgotten it. This works really well with 4.5 to 5-year-olds. Sometimes I do this. I'll just say peanut butter in the middle of something or some silly word, and it gets so many giggles out of the kids, gets their attention, and also supports them in feeling really significant because they have a chance to kind of coach me and correct me. And the fact that I am modeling trust in them to quote-unquote help me with this moment where I've supposedly forgotten something, that actually creates a stronger level of trust in them for me, because I've shown them that I trust them. So it's really great. Also, you can spontaneously, in the middle of anything else, another activity, wherever you are, begin repetitive whole body movements in plain sight of your students with the focused expectation that they join in. So you can try jumps, clapping, thigh tapping, jumping jacks, or the finger play for a familiar song. And this is sort of related to I Lost My Voice, in that you're really communicating to them with your focus on your own body. It's great. Also, you can invite students to explore different instruments and sound objects on a regular basis. So you can either create stations with different instruments in each station, or you can create a sound object or instrument circle where kids take turns playing different instruments and passing them around. Whatever way works best for you in your own classroom. But then after everybody has a chance to play different instruments or experiment with different sound objects, you can discuss the different sounds that you hear. And you can see the book Piano Without Tears on page 51 for the language that you can use when you discuss those sounds using active listening language. Very good, very good. Yay! I hope you picked up that I've been using this device the whole time to cultivate variety, and I hope you're still awake and you're still with me. I look forward to hearing your questions in our next meeting next week. If you want more detailed kind of academic information on relationship development intervention and those ways that I cited of getting attention, just ask me for a printout because I have one. and it's a really great resource. I'm so glad you made it to the end. Or as one of my 6-year-old students says, welcome out. In the comments, won't you please describe or show in emojis your favorite weather? Take care, have a great start to your next week, and I look forward to our meeting soon. Bye.